Most people struggle with consistency, not because they don't have the ability, but because they rely too much on motivation. Motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes. Some days you wake up feeling inspired and ready to take on the world. Other days you'd rather stay in bed and do nothing. If you rely on motivation, you'll never be consistent because the days you don't feel like it will destroy your progress. The solution: stop making consistency a choice. Make it a non-negotiable. When something is non-negotiable, you don't ask yourself whether you feel like doing it, you just do it. Think about brushing your teeth. You don't wake up and say, "I don't feel like brushing today." You just do it because it's part of your daily routine. That's the level of automaticity you need for consistency. Waiting for motivation is the biggest trap. The most successful people don't feel motivated every day. They've just trained themselves to take action no matter how they feel. If you want to force yourself to be consistent, you need to remove the decision-making process. The more you think about whether to do something, the more likely you are to talk yourself out of it. Have a plan? Don't rely on your brain to make a decision in the moment. If you plan to go to the gym, decide the time, the workout, and even what you'll wear the night before. The fewer decisions you need to make, the easier it becomes. Lower resistance. Most people fail at consistency because they make it too hard. If you want to build a reading habit, don't start with a goal of 50 pages a day. Start with 5 minutes. Make it ridiculously easy to start. The easier the habit, the harder it is to skip. Remove distractions. Your environment influences your behavior more than you think. If you keep your phone next to you while working, you'll check it. If you keep junk food in your house while dieting, you'll eat it. If you want to be consistent, make sure your environment supports your goals. Track your progress. What gets measured gets improved. Seeing a streak of progress builds momentum. If you go to the gym 3 days in a row, you'll want to keep going just to maintain the streak. Use a habit tracker or a simple calendar and mark every day you stick to your habit. Use the 2-minute rule. If something feels overwhelming, break it down. If you don't feel like writing, tell yourself to write for just 2 minutes. If you don't feel like reading, read 1 page. Usually, getting started is the hardest part. Once you do, you'll keep going. Detach from your emotions. Successful people understand that feelings are unreliable. You won't always feel like working. You won't always feel like eating healthy. You won't always feel like showing up. But if you let emotions control your actions, you'll never be consistent. Find your deeper reason. Why are you doing this? If you don't have a strong enough reason, you'll quit the moment things get hard. I want to get fit is a weak reason. I want to be strong so I can play with my kids and live a long, healthy life is a powerful reason. Be okay with boredom. The secret to long-term consistency is being willing to do the same thing over and over without losing focus. The reason most people fail isn't because the work is hard, it's because they get bored and chase the next shiny thing. Success comes to those who can master the basics consistently. Have consequences. If skipping a habit has no consequence, you'll feel no urgency to stay consistent. Set stakes. Make a bet with a friend. Tell them that if you skip a workout, you'll send them $50. When real consequences are involved, you're less likely to quit. Surround yourself with discipline. If you're around lazy people, you'll be lazy. If you're around disciplined people, you'll become disciplined. Your environment and social circles shape your behavior more than you think. Find people who are already consistent and put yourself in their world. Don't rely on willpower. Willpower is a limited resource. The more decisions you make, the weaker your willpower becomes. Instead, build systems. If you want to eat healthy, meal prep so you don't have to decide what to eat every day. If you want to write daily, set a fixed time and place where writing happens automatically. Accept that you won't always see immediate results. One of the biggest killers of consistency is impatience. Most people quit because they don't see results fast enough. Understand that progress isn't always visible in the beginning, but every action compounds over time. Reframe setbacks. Missing one day doesn't ruin your progress, but letting one bad day turn into a bad week does. If you slip up, don't use it as an excuse to quit. Get back on track immediately. Think long term. Stop looking for quick wins. If you want lasting success, you need long-term habits. Instead of thinking in days, think in years. Instead of chasing overnight success, commit to mastery. Create identity-based habits. Instead of saying, I need to be more consistent, tell yourself, I am the kind of person who shows up every day. When you attach your habits to your identity, consistency becomes part of who you are, not just something you try to do. Master micro habits. Most people fail at consistency because they aim too high too fast. If you want to work out consistently, start with 10 minutes a day. If you want to build a writing habit, start with one sentence. Small, daily actions build the foundation for bigger habits over time. Use pain as fuel. Most people only think about what they'll gain if they stay consistent. But sometimes, the fear of loss is a bigger motivator. What will happen if you don't stay consistent? What will your life look like in 5 years if you keep making excuses? Let that pain push you forward. Tie habits to an existing routine. If you struggle with consistency, stack your habits on top of something you already do. Want to read more? Read 1 page after brushing your teeth. Want to do push-ups? Do them before you shower. Connecting new habits to old routines makes them easier to stick to. Commit publicly. When no one knows your goal, quitting is easy. But when you make a commitment publicly, whether it's telling friends, posting online, or joining a challenge, you add accountability. The pressure of not wanting to let others down can help you stay consistent. Use rewards wisely. Most people struggle with consistency because they focus too much on the long-term reward. But your brain is wired for short-term gratification. Find small ways to reward yourself for staying consistent, whether it's tracking progress, celebrating small wins, or treating yourself after hitting milestones. Learn to love the process. If you only focus on results, you'll lose motivation quickly. Instead, learn to enjoy the daily grind. If you want to get fit, find a workout you enjoy. If you want to write, fall in love with the act of writing, not just the idea of having written. Don't rely on inspiration. Inspiration is like a spark. It can start a fire, but it won't keep it burning. Discipline is the fuel. The most successful people in the world aren't the ones who always feel inspired. They're the ones who show up even when they don't feel like it. Remember, consistency isn't just about discipline. It's about setting up your life in a way that makes discipline easier. Build systems, create accountability, and remove barriers. The easier you make it to be consistent, the harder it will be to fail.